Hey, everybody. If you like combat sports and martial arts, make sure to subscribe, like, and share the Drewsperience that's available on YouTube, Spotify, and iTunes. And this is the Drewsperience, the show that's 80% combat sports and 20% everything else. First, I want to give a thanks to a few supporters. KRT Tips and Tricks, largest online growing dojo with senseis Wesley Jensen and Jaron Stringer, Kyokushin Shuffle podcast, and Forever the Student ebook author Sensei Patrick Pinto, picking the greatest minds of Kyokushin and other martial arts of how they excel at their craft. Martial Way blog in terms of creating awareness and raising the bar for Kyokushin. And lastly, Moments Management. If you're a pro fighter looking for quality management, Moments Management, where Nima Safapur, who has represented clients such as Gegard Mousasi and Alexander Gustafsson, amongst others, will teach you the ins and outs of the fight game, how to invest and save your money properly for before, during, and after. Moments Management, where quality and care come first. Today's guest has been a long time in the works. I saw his, first I saw him on an interview on the Kyokushin Shuffle, but then One Kyokushin started promoting his content. And I believe this guy is the future, is going to be a future champion for Australasia, but eventually international tournaments when everything opens back up. He is the definition of that new era of Kyokushin, having not only just the Kyokushin, but other aspects of combat sports in him. I'm very pleased to finally, after the timing finally is perfect, Nasar, Mr. Hollywood Kasab. Welcome, Naz.
Awesome, Drew. Thank you for being having me on, brother. Appreciate it, mate.
Thank you for coming on. Like I saw your stuff on One Kyokushin, and I was like, okay, this guy's legit. Like, and I know, and
yeah.
As you really know the art, you start to realize like who is like gonna be the next ones coming up. Like in terms of like what does the next generation represent?
Yeah. No, thanks, Drew. Appreciate it, mate.
So what's your
means a lot.
No problem. So now you're very young. You're only 21. So before before Kyokushin, did you ever have any other martial arts experience?
No, just only Kyokushin. Jumped in when I was 7 years old.
Whoa.
And yeah, started from now, 21 now. So been going ever since. And competing in every tournament that came our way.
That's impressive. So you really are like a competitor in definition. Like if someone says describe competitor, be like look up Nasar Kasab. That's
something like that. Yeah.
That's awesome. So
they fight active since we're young, and it's really helped us going into as we're getting older and fighting. Yeah.
That's impressive. So to really you've been there. So when you were, who was your sensei or shian growing up at? Because I know Australia it's got a very, it's a tight knit Kyokushin community. So it's like there's guys like such as Judd Reed, Pat Pinto.
Yeah. Well, I started at a local dojo next to me called FAFC, Maria Gibalisco, Sehan Maria. Now, that's who I started with under, and that's where my beginning was. Yeah, went from there, and then now I train with Shian Judd Reed and Nick Kara, my main coach, Nick Kara, in my kickboxing. And we got a big team. We got a very, very big team at the moment.
Yeah,
very knowledgeable team.
Yeah, no, that's really good. Like, especially and I like how you said you have a kickboxing coach, because what I see is like a lot of Kyokushin practitioners, like the ones that are competitors, they only keep a Kyokushin coach. There's nothing wrong with that. But if you really want to get to that next level where you want to be an active champion, winning first place consistently, or at least coming in medaling second, you want to have you want to kind of have like an outsider's perspective of how to improve your toolkit.
Oh, for sure. Everyone brings something different to the table at the end of the day. You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course. Like, for example, like my coach that I've shown you pictures of Mo, heavyweight legend. And there's a lot of heavyweights in Canada that are very good, but he is the gold standard. Like, and it's not to like stroke his ego, but he's miles. It's like there are, look, the sad, like it's not a sad reality, but the reality is, as you can attest to based to your success, there are levels to this game. Like you could say you're the best, you fought international, but then when you step in with that one guy, there's what I like to call the John Jones syndrome. It's like you're in there with a different kind of beast.
Yes. Yeah, you're not wrong there. 100%. I agree. Yeah.
And,
of course.
And did you have any martial arts fighters that you like looking at? And I wouldn't say looked up to, but that look, you kind of modeled.
A big idol for me was like growing up was Gary O'Neill.
Mm-hmm.
Like I watched him over and over. Like I was a massive fan, and really just loved his fighting style. And then as like George St. Pierre
mm-hmm.
is a huge fan of George St. Pierre, and of course like that I'm very lucky to have by my side now Sean Judd Reed. That he was a person I really look up to, and still, you know what I mean. And I'm very lucky to have him part of my team now.
That's amazing. Yeah, like Judd has really done something that was unheard of. Like he went to Thailand, which is like a Muay Thai nation, and started Kyokushin, which is unheard of.
Yeah, he done it all. He's absolute legend, Sean Judd.
Is he back in Australia now? Because I know he was going back and forth.
In Melbourne.
Okay.
Yeah, I go there as much as I can.
And where are you in? Like, are you in Gold Coast, or you're in Sydney or Melbourne?
Melbourne.
Okay.
In Melbourne, yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, that's where. Yeah, Melbourne's more like, it's kind of like the New York or Philadelphia of Australia. Like it's very like type A, and then like Gold Coast. Like I was talking with Sheehan Cameron. By the way, guys, if you really want to see a good conversation, look back at my interview with Sheehan Cam, and Cam said like, well, I'm in the Gold Coast, and he's like, we're kind of like California. We're very, laid back. And then you got Melbourne, who's like, they're very type A. They like to get their stuff. They like to get their tasks done.
Like you're always on the go.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? With work, you're always doing something. You can't just relax. You know what I mean?
Oh, so true. It's like that in North America. Cause like you have the Eastern side, which is like New York, Philadelphia, which is what I mentioned. Yeah. And then in Canada, you have like Quebec, Ontario, everything always on the go, busy, even with harsh winters.
Yeah. Exactly like here.
Yeah, Melbourne, man. It's so you said you like Gary O'Neill, George St. Pierre, but the funny thing is, it's like Australia has a very rich kickboxing and combat sports history. Like not only like with like Gary O'Neill, but legends such as Stan the Man and Sam Greco.
Yeah. That's, you know what? I'm not forgetting another person I look up to, like massive, Andy Hug.
Of course.
And if you've watched my videos, when I come out in my when I come out to fight, I always wear my gi. If you haven't seen that, so that's something Sam Greco Andy Hug used to do.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah, that's amazing that you took that from them. And you got to represent. You got to represent. You never forget your roots.
At the end of the day, you can't forget where you come from. You know what I mean? So no matter how far I'll go away from Kyokushin, it'll always be with me. You know what I mean?
Oh, for sure. I'm the same way too. Because after that, sometimes I get the question from others. Yeah. What do you plan to do after you get black belt? Are you just going to quit? And I said, no. I said, I'm going to go into grappling because I do want to open my mind up to like BJJ and like wrestling. Yeah. But I want to still train in Kyokushin. Like maybe I might not compete as much, but I'm going to probably do the other stuff and to get my knee dan and sandan. Because the ultimate goal for me is to get to sandan so I can be a teacher.
Yeah, a sensei. Yeah, of course. Now that's the mentality you got to be. You can't have you got to have your goals, and you achieve your goal, and it's on to the next thing. You know what I mean? It's not it's over from here. then
No.
you don't stop learning. You know what I mean, Drew?
Of
No matter
course.
something, tomorrow I'll pick up some. You're always learning, no matter how much you know. You
I
know.
mean, you look at George St. Pierre, like he came in as a striker, and even when and then when he lost the belt,
Yeah,
he really just
yeah,
took to grappling. And
yeah.
now you look at George. I mean, like
Well,
if you watched my fight Panion with Wesley and my
yeah,
friend Adam, we spoke about George. Yes, he has a Kyokushin background, but he's not the proper like representative because he became more of a grappler later on.
yeah. That's true. Yeah. Well, he's from Canada.
Yep, he's a
Yeah.
national icon here. Yeah, everyone's
Yeah.
like. Even people in like China know who he is. If you,
He's champion.
I think like the most recognizable faces now for for just martial arts in general, whether it's mixed or boxing. If you're looking at
Yeah.
MMA, I think the top three, like four, actually five. Okay, this is just me. Maybe I'm
Yeah.
wrong. People could like message me and DM me, and they'll like they could share. I'm
Yeah.
open to hearing. I think it's these: Khabib, George,
Yeah.
Connor,
Yeah.
Francis, and I'd say Izzy to a degree.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree. I agree. Yeah. George, 100%. He's up there with, yeah. He'll make UFC Hall of Fame, I reckon.
Oh, he already is. He already has. He
already
put in. Yeah.
There you go. Well, yeah, that says it all.
Are you now, like, I understand with the new generation, like, now because kids coming up, or like, not kids, you're young adults. Like, I feel old. I'm getting old.
Yeah.
So, do you feel like, you grew up, you were basically like your adolescence was in the Conor McGregor era, which is the showman era, putting on a nice show. My era was like the Chuck Liddell and the George St. Pierre, Anderson Silva. So it's kind of like that mix of like, we're still figuring out that who is like the sport will be built around, but now we kind of know like who's building the sport. Do kids today in Kyokushin try to model their game after Izzy, you'd say, because of that like crazy style that he has?
Izzy is an absolute. I love his fighting style, and I take a lot from. I watch a lot of him.
Mm-hmm.
Try whatever. I watch a lot of fighters. You take this, you take that from whatever you like. You know what I mean? But I don't know. Everyone's got their own style. You know what I mean? Like I reckon Conor McGregor's amazing, and the way he can showboat and whatever, he can build it up. But for me, that's not me. You know what I mean? I'm not much of a, I just let the fighting do the talking. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm the same way. Like, I'm like kind of like, for me, like, when people ask me if you could compare your style to someone and be like, I'm like a Robbie Lawler. Like, I'm not technical. Like, I like having like wars, but it's like, I don't need to talk. Like, I let my fight, like my competitions do the talk.
That's
my talking.
Yeah, that's exactly right. That's the way we go about it. You know what I mean? And I'm all for that. You gotta, you know what I mean?
Oh, of course. Like, I definitely agree, because I think that's what I think makes Kyokushin good. There's none of that bad blood, or like or it's like, it's like I'm coming. It's like I'm gonna talk this about your religion, your family. There's none of that. It's like you could be fighting.
Yeah, it's all respect.
Yeah, like you could be fighting. Look, on the tatami, it's business. But after, it's like you'll be like, okay, I'm gonna go get a beer with you, or like let's go get like a burger or something, and it's like, okay, that was fun.
For sure, you gotta be professional at the end of the day.
It's very true. Oh, you gotta kind of like keep that, because like you have to remember too. Like it's like at the end of the day, like my coach said, like my coach said it best. He's like, they're pros. They're on TV. You're an amateur. You're not on TV. So don't let it get to you. He's like, because some people do. And it's like, and that's the thing too. Like, I mean, like there's going to be egos everywhere, even with black belts, especially. But I mean, you just got to ignore those. I mean, I've learned along the way, just like, let them be. If they want to be petty, that's their call. They're just a minority. They're 1% of a minority.
100% agree. Yeah. You could have put it any better.
And what I think is like important, because on my shows I have like, I always like to, everyone always talks about Russia and Japan being the powerhouses, but I've got a new conclusion that there's also Iran and Australia.
I would say Iran too. Yeah, yeah. From what I've heard, I haven't been to overseas at international level on the Kyokushin, so, but I have heard from a lot of people Iran's very strong.
It's the mix of that wrestling background too, because like what I think this is what. So I had on another Shian of my show named Shian Hamid of Kyokushin Kan, and we were talking about.
Is he in Sydney?
No, he's in Canada. He's a Shian in Canada.
Canada. Okay,
Yeah.
okay. I'm thinking of someone else.
Yeah. So we were talking about like why Iranians make very good Kyokushin practitioners. And I think it's that blitz in wrestling. Because you think of Greco-Roman, they're blitzing. Like it's that blitz in Kyokushin and wrestling that just plays into their toolbox. So that's what I think. And they're just meant for fight. I'm convinced, like Middle Eastern, like if you're from Iran, Lebanon, North Africa, where you're just bred for combat sports. It's not a stereotype. It's very true.
Yeah. It's true. Well, I'm Lebanese myself.
You're a killer. So like, yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, you were telling you're half Italian. I think you're full Lebanese or half.
Half Italian, half Lebanese.
Okay. So yeah, Lebanon does have. Now Lebanon's more known for their Taekwondo, but they do have like at least a few legit Kyokushin practitioners.
Yeah. There you go.
Have you ever fought against any Lebanese like yourself or?
No, I haven't. I'll probably have. Yeah, I probably would have. Drew, I've had that many fights. I've lost track, to be honest.
That's crazy. What's your most memorable fight that you had? Like one of them that's gonna always stand out, like in memory.
Well, my main ones are like your Australian titles, those big ones that I'll never forget. Like I won a couple of those. But in the kickboxing now, there's like a couple. Like my first title. Like your first knockout, there's those like special ones, you know what I mean? They're the ones I won't forget. Yeah, they give me bumps every time. Like, yeah,
that is really impressive. That you're always gonna remember that first knockout, like that. What was that like? Like when was it a head kick knockout or was it like a?
No, my first knockout was actually a punch.
Whoa.
It was a punch. So that's what we wanted too, because coming into this, like, we're still raw, yeah? We're learning. It wasn't easy coming from a Kyokushin to kickboxing. It was a bit of a lot of adjusting, you know what I mean? Especially when you've trained a certain way and fought a certain way with your hands here, a bit lower, not worrying about the head punches, you know what I mean? For a certain amount of time, and then to just change it up. So it was a bit of a challenge, but we're still learning. We still haven't got to it today. We still haven't found our mark. You know what I mean? But yeah, that fight was good because everyone's expecting me as a karate in Kyokushin to have the legs. So I really wanted to show that, don't worry, we got hands as well. You know what I mean? And yeah, the first knockout was I think a left hand hook. I can't remember, something like that, but it was a hand.
That's impressive. Still, either way, like I never know, like that's impressive. Yeah, because the thing is, like, I think people really have to stop sleeping on the fact that yes, we might have stiff punches in terms of when we punch, it's kind of like rock'em sock'em robots, because there are some. Because what I'm seeing now, like especially with the newer generation of senseis, they're bringing in boxing coaches to their class just to tell them like, okay, like you gotta be fluid in your punches as we are in our kicks. And I think what makes a very deadly combination with Kyokushin in stand-up is boxing with Kyokushin. If you can get those two together, you're a killer.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. It's only going to make you better learning other styles. It's just going to add to your vocabulary, you know what I mean? Your artillery.
Oh, I love that wording where you said artillery there, it's so true, because you got to always have it's like you're kind of like like an assassin. You got to have your knives, you have your sword,
Yeah,
and then you have your shurikens, and then you have your, I don't know, bow and arrow.
right, you got your skill set, you know what I mean? Just whatever, you know what you're good at, and just, like, whatever you like. You like something from that, take it away.
Yeah, like I wanted to get, okay, so I know you fought in like a few like kickboxing competitions, you know, both pro and you know, amateur. Karate Combat is
Yeah.
a league that's, you know, that's been in existence for 2 years. There's
Yeah.
no Kyokushin practitioner. And I have and well, we kind of know, I'm gonna say I kind of know why. This is just my hypothesis, because it's the Shotokan Association. So they're gonna do everything they can to,
Yeah.
I think, just prevent Kyokushin from doing what they do best. But if Karate
Yeah.
Combat were to include Kyokushin, how do you see that going down if the Kyokushin practitioners are given the green light to compete?
Sorry, I didn't understand.
Oh,
So to compete in kickboxing,
in
or?
the Karate Combat, that karate league that you see on Instagram and all that.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. I to be honest, I don't know much of it. I haven't really looked into it, Drew, to be honest.
Okay. Well, there's no Kyokushin practitioner. Every time you go on the site, it's like Shito Ryu, Shorin Ryu, Shotokan. Like, I'm not against
Okay.
the style. I'm not against the style.
No,
But if
no.
you really want to be karate, include our discipline.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yep, yep, 100%.
Yeah.
Who knows? Who knows? They might add the Kyokushin in.
I think it would be great. And I think like if they're looking for someone to really represent Kyokushin, like I'm like, it's like if they were, because like I've interviewed Corey Schaefer. He's like a regulatory director with Bellator, like gets the fight sanctions, but he's also done work with Karate Combat. And like I
Okay.
said, like we gotta get the Kyokushin guys in. I said it's only fair. And he's like, well, if you have anyone, just like, you know, tell me. And I said, okay, well, I have at least 3 guys I know that if you let them fight, they're gonna rep the art well. They're gonna let the floodgates open.
Yeah. You just yeah. There you go.
I think they just don't want to get the calf kicks.
Give them the names, Drew, and maybe you might even be able to go on.
No, I just do amateur. I just do for me, my window is I got at least 4 more semi contacts. Then I want to do at least 2 or 3 full contacts, and then just get into coaching, because that's my window. Like my mom's gonna hate hearing this because she thinks I'm retired. But the truth is, like, I love competing, and you're gonna get bruised, you could get hurt. But look, you know, I have a job where I have benefits, where I could go to physio, I can see I get physio and all that. Like, that's the thing too. But this is not like, look, the worst injuries only happen if it's not refed properly. But usually the fights are refed properly. They're not gonna let someone die.
Well, you just go in there, not like that. You're not thinking about those. You know what I mean? Not thinking about injuries. You're just going in there to just smash it out, get the win, and that's all that's on your mind. You want to see your opponent in front of you.
Exactly.
I know it doesn't sound good, but it's a bit violent. But that's what we do.
It's the nature of the game that we do. You live by the sword, die by the sword. Like,
that's exactly 100%. Well, at the end of the day, you win and you lose. There's no shame in losing. You only benefit from losing, to be honest. You know what I mean? You get more from a loss than a win.
You really do. Like, and that's the thing. Like, the thing is too, like, everyone that says, oh, you should have done this, at the end of the day, you just got to ignore them. Like, at first, like, because the thing is, the biggest mistake I used to make was I used to share my fight, like one of my fights on Facebook, and everyone was like, oh, you should have done this, should have done that. And it's like, and it gets to you. And then you realize, why am I posting it in that case? Like, you know, post the picture if you won a trophy so people can guess. Because if you put the video, everybody thinks they're Joe Rogan, Teddy Atlas.
There you go. No, well, it's not as easy as people would like, as it looks on the outside. You know what I mean?
Totally.
You think you can go in there and go give it a crack?
I always say, if you think it's so easy, you go try it. You go do the training, and then because the fight is the reward, the training is the real work. Like there's days like, you know, you don't want to show up. You show up and you're like, I got to do this again. And it's about loving the process. Like that's the thing. Like if you love the process, that's what makes you keep competing and competing and competing.
I'll go through them like I look at it this way. You can't be motivated all the time to just always want to be training. You know what I mean? You go through your stages it's like a wave. You know what I mean? Like some days I can't wait to get to the gym, and then some other days I've had a hard day at work, whatever. You got to push yourself to go. But you know what? When you push yourself, those days are they turn out to be the best training days.
They really do. I find I notice that like the days I don't want to go, like I'm on the treadmill, like I'm dropping a million F-bombs in my head. Then like I go do the weights, and then like I'm happy after, and I'm like, okay, I'm happy I did that.
Yeah, for sure. You just gotta push yourself. At the end of the day.
Yep. Very very true.
Yeah.
What were you saying? There was something about goals, like.
No, just you gotta have your goals. Your goals are very important. You know what I mean?
Very, very true. So what do you feel like? I mean, like 2021 is a write-off for some countries because of, you know, it's parts 2 to COVID. But how do you see Kyokushin in the moving forward in 2021? Like we are in the 21st century. So how do you feel Kyokushin's going to grow as the new generation takes over?
To be honest, we got to get past this COVID. If this COVID stays around, we're not going nowhere. But we're lucky here in Melbourne, in Australia. We're going good, and our fight shows are starting again. But to be honest, I don't really I'm not really following the Kyokushin as much as before. You know what I mean? I've really stepped away a little bit and just really focusing on the kickboxing. But, Kyokushin will just keep growing, I believe. It's just,
I think as like with like the internet too, and you know, you see like podcasts like what I do, what Pat does, what KRT does.
If it wasn't for the internet, you wouldn't, or social media, you wouldn't have been able to get in contact with me. It's amazing. You know what I mean? Social media.
It's so true.
Big social media is these days, and how we can help.
Depends what you're looking at. It depends what you're looking at too on there, because I've really had to curate the things I follow and get on my news feed.
Yeah, that's true.
Some of the stuff, it's like it'll go from like let's say I have like MMA to kickboxing, and then to like it will be like some random ass and then it's like some random meme. So it's like that's why like sometimes like I need to stay off it. Like I think sometimes like I just need to stay off it, but it's hard because I work from home. So if like I'm not on taking calls, like I'm gonna be scrolling out of boredom. But it has its tools. It's got its necessary. It's like look, I was able to get in touch with you. I have friends in the UK.
Well, when you get on it, it's like it just time goes so fast. You can be on it like it's like then you look at the time. It's like, oh my god, I've been on for an hour on my phone.
Exactly.
Especially TikTok now.
Don't get me started on TikTok because
I do at least TikTok. When I get stuck on it, it's like, oh shit, I gotta get off. Enough.
Yeah. It's just there's too much. There's Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. There's just too many.
There's too much. Yeah. Bad.
Snapchat. Remember Snapchat? I'm sure everyone has Snapchat. I don't have it. Like I'm one of the few that never got the point of it.
We still got Snapchat now.
I don't think many people use it though. Like it had its phase, like from 20.
I'm not big on it. Yeah.
I'm more than Instagram. Like Twitter was okay, but
Yeah.
then Twitter is just a cesspool of negativity of people's opinions. So I deleted my Twitter. So I just keep my my Instagram, and I have like my Facebook, and even if I'm on Facebook, I just post the links to my shows, and that's about it.
Yeah, no, Instagram's the best for me. That's the most social media I use. Yeah.
It's really crazy. Are you planning to eventually? I know, like, you have a full-time job, and you're doing kickboxing, but would the plan be eventually to go professional, like say into Glory or maybe Bellator? Oh, it looks like we lost Naz there. So. Don't worry, guys. He's coming back. His phone got disconnected there. These things happen when you do a podcast. There we go. It's okay.
Sorry, Drew. I don't know what happened there.
I don't know what happened either. It's okay though. It's okay.
My phone's going crazy with phone calls.
Yeah, it's like that when you're a pro.
Oh, far out. And it's Friday night.
That's true too. That is true. So I wanted to So I can't see your camera's off still. You want me to?
Oh, is it off? Okay.
Yeah, it says. Yeah.
Oh,
there we go. There we go. Yeah. So let me ask.
Yeah.
So the question was before the call came in. Are you planning to go professional, like to say Glory or Bellator, if like the record keeps piling up and you?
Definitely, Drew. Well, at the moment, I'm professional now.
Okay.
And I only did. I didn't even do amateur. I went straight pro. Yeah. So yeah, straight to professional. But our aim, we've got goals. Me and my trainer Nick Cara. Mm-hmm. We're aiming to hit 20 fights. We want to hit at least 20 fights, get our experience up, and then weigh up our options and go from there. If
True. Okay, Glory, so you're fighting. You're fighting
Glory,
pro.
One.
Yeah. You're fighting pro on the regional scene, but the options are there. And when
the options are there. Yeah.
When are you planning maybe MMA or just straight kickboxing? Just cause.
For now, straight kickboxing. I really want to get the smash out to kickboxing.
Nice.
But I really want to smash out here in Melbourne, in Australia, and then really look at overseas. Because at the end of the day, we don't want to just be local champions. You know what I mean? We want to be something bigger than that. We want to be on the big stage.
And that's amazing to see because, as I said, Australia, since, as Pat was saying, before when they finally had that event in 2015 with Holly Holm versus Rousey, that opened the floodgates for all Australian combat sports. Yeah. 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 It looks like your camera doesn't like Zoom. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's okay. Don't worry. But no, it's amazing. I'm really happy to hear that. And I really think, you have a lot to offer. And I mean, your content that you have, like when you post your training, like when one Kyokushin posted, I'm like, that's like, that's where I said, okay, like I knew this guy's this is something different. Like this is something we haven't seen before. And you're what, a middleweight or a lightweight?
I'm a middleweight at the moment. Yeah, middleweight.
Yeah, I'm staying the fuck away from you.
Yeah.
I'm a middleweight.
Well,
I'm staying away.
No, we're on the same team.
Nice, nice. Yeah, I love middleweight. Like, because middleweights are very like they're very they have they have the right build. They have that power like a heavyweight if they can learn how to use their strength, but they have that
Yeah.
speed of a lightweight. So we're in that middle.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
And then you
100% agree.
and then you have some heavyweights that just move like
And then
middleweights.
they still move like middleweight. Then
Yeah,
that's that.
yeah. There's like a guy Nathan Phillips I saw.
Like, what's Drew? Sorry.
Oh, I just said, yeah, there's like a heavyweight, Nathan Phillips. You've heard of him, I'm
Yeah,
sure, right?
Nathan. Yeah. I know Nathan.
Yeah.
He's a boy and still moves like. See what I mean? That's he's a perfect example.
Moves like a panther. What were you saying about the middleweight still before? Because before it cut out there, because
I forgot what I was saying. Yeah, what was I saying? Like we're still finding our mark. We're still learning. You know what I mean, Drew?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
No one's seen nothing yet.
Yeah, I think.
I'll say.
Yeah, it's so true. Like, I mean, and then I'm sure, like, the other thing too, like, we're only talking about the male fighters, but I'm sure there are some really good female fighters down in Australia.
Definitely. Yeah. Well, there's a lot of talent down here.
And the funny thing is, like, we all talk. That's the thing. Like, everyone, everyone like will talk about the Russians or whatever. As I said, I do different. I like to see other areas and see for myself what I think, and that's why I'm doing Australasia, because I just feel that you guys deserve more recognition for what you've done. So that's why, like, I'm happy for guys like there's guys like Patrick Pinto who does this podcast and he's showing like and that's the thing, Patrick is a very good competitor. Like he went from basketball to Kyokushin. So that's what I like about him. It's like he's one that like, and as you said, Judd, there's Cameron. Australia has Gary. There's so much that you guys have given to Kyokushin. And I think it's Australia should be given more no recognition for Kyokushin.
Yeah, well, that's 100%. And you know what? That's up to us young fighters and up and comers to really represent the Aussies now.
That's amazing. So what's yeah, you got it. Yeah, you're doing a great job with your gi. You're gonna wear your flag next.
Yeah, that's it. Like I said, we never forget where we come from.
No, it's very true.
Kyokushin is such a strong base to have.
Mm-hmm.
And it's amazing. Like, really, like you can go into any style of martial arts from there.
I think it's the best base to start with. If you're a kid, like if I ever have a kid,
it's an awesome base. For me, it was awesome to jump into the kickboxing. It really helped me.
I was like, you look at Stephen Thompson in the UFC too, like the karate fighter Stephen Thompson. That's like, look at his base. Look at how he parlayed it into grappling.
Yeah, for sure. There you go.
I think karate's the best base.
It is. 100% agree.
If you didn't have Kyokushin, if you didn't do martial arts, where do you think you'd be in life?
Oh, that's a big question. That's a very good question, actually, Drew. To be honest, I am the person I am today from my martial arts and my Kyokushin. You know what I mean? I don't know if I'd be a completely different person. The confidence, the respect part of the side, just the way you look at life. You think martial arts is just keeping fit and train and whatever, healthy, staying strong, whatever. But it's not just that. It's helping you in your in just everyday life. You know what I mean? Just like after I got my black belt, I got smashed 40 fights, 8 hours. Like after that, I was 6 years old. And after I completed that and achieved that, I believe I could do anything now. You know what I mean? Nothing phases me. Anything, I'll give it a crack.
Very
you know
true.
What I mean? That's why, like now, even with our fights that we take, me and my team, I got like my Nick Cara, we take anything that comes our way. You know what I mean? We're not the type to sit there and pick our fights. That's one thing we would never do. Because at the end of the day, we want to be the best. And to be the best, you got to take on the best.
You really do.
You know, there's no dodging.
You said there's no dodging? Like, you just take anybody. It doesn't matter.
Any
You just
fight that comes up, mate, someone wants to, no problem. Organize it.
Perfect.
You know what I mean?
I love that mentality. You just got to do it. Like, I mean, if I'm like, let's say I weigh into my fight at like 185, but my opponent is like a heavyweight, I'm still going to fight because I put the hours in. You give me that fight. I'm not dodging.
No, 100%. No, you can't. Go through it. You only just got to learn from it. Win,
lose, it's at the end of the day, like, there's spectators for a reason, and then there's the real men in the arena like us, you know. So that's why, you know, I'm a competitor through and through. I love watching. I love doing it too. But right now we just can't do it because of COVID in Canada. But man, when it happens again, I don't care if I win third place or I don't even win the trophy. I just want to get on that tatami. I just want to get on there.
No, we're lucky here. Last year was pretty much a dead year for me. We had so much planned, and then COVID hit, and everything went out the window. So nothing got done last year. But this year we started off with a bang. We fought on Prince Promotions 8-man against the 8 best in the country. So that was an amazing event, and that was an amazing experience for me. Really learned a lot from that. But at least it's we're moving here. Shows are starting again.
Do you feel excited? Do you feel excited? Like, do you feel eventually like there's going to be like more UFCs coming, or maybe some kickboxing events from ONE FC because Australia is now open?
Yeah. Hopefully. I believe so.
That'd be really good. That'd be really, really good. So I guess, you know, I guess to say, like, to end it here, you know, Nasar, I want to say thank you so much for coming on finally. I'm so glad we got to do this. I did it on my day off from work, so that makes it even better. Less stress and less pressure. But where can people connect with you on social media if they want to, like, see your training or whatnot?
Yeah. Well, probably my Instagram. If anyone wants to follow me, guys, Nasar Kasab, and that's just everything coming up. My upcoming fights, whatever. We just keep everyone up to date with what's happening.
Perfect. All right, guys, make sure to give him a follow. This guy is the future, especially if you're in Kyokushin. You got to support everyone from Kyokushin, whether they're from Canada, Russia, England, Australia, New Zealand, you name it. But this guy, if you're listen, for all the Canadians, he's a Commonwealth cousin, since Australia and Canada are kind of cousins because of the Queen. So make sure to really give this guy a push because he is the future. You might see him. You will see him in either Glory, Bellator Kickboxing, or ONE FC one day soon. So be on the lookout for Nasar. You heard it here first. So make sure to follow this guy because he deserves it.
Thanks, Drew. Appreciate it, brother.
Thank you. Thanks, man.
Take care, mate.
You too.